Hi, my name is Luke Hearon. I'm a PhD student in the Department of Entomology at The Ohio State University. I'm working in Dr. Reed Johnson's honeybee laboratory studying bee foraging behavior. So the European honeybee is what I study. Its species name is Apis mellifera. So a honeybee is one organism, but it's a eusocial species, so it lives with many of its sisters. The colony of honeybees can comprise as many as 40,000 individuals. And while the individual bee is very complex, she's also making all of these decisions and communicating with her sisters in what might be thought of as a superorganism. So the colony itself we can think of as one individual unit of honeybee life. It is its own organism making decisions. You might notice I've been referring to the worker bees as she. This is because all of the workers in the hive and the queen are all females. Male bees are called drones. The male bees don't work. They can't even feed themselves, and their only purpose is to go out and mate with new queens. And you probably, if you're not a beekeeper, have never seen a male bee in your life. You might think of the hive as a monarchy. You've heard of a queen bee maybe, and there is one queen. She's different than all the workers. She's the only one that lays eggs, but the queen isn't necessarily in charge in the honeybee hive. You have one queen, but thousands of workers, and those workers are really the ones who are calling the shots in a sense. The workers can decide when they need a new queen. If the queen is doing a bad job of laying eggs, they might even kill her and decide to make a new queen. They make a queen by taking a larva in a special cell called a queen cell, and that larva they're feeding with extra rich food we call royal jelly. And when a larva, same as any other worker larva, but when it is fed royal jelly, it undergoes these physiological changes, and instead of developing to a sterile worker, she develops into a reproductive queen. So in a hive, you have the queen bee who's laying eggs, and then you have what we call the workers. Worker is a general term because each of the workers will carry on a number of different jobs across her life. When a worker is young, she's doing safe jobs inside the hive. One of her first jobs is, for example, cleaning out dirty cells of brood comb where the brood used to be, or feeding the young larvae, which we call the brood. As she begins to get older, she'll take on more dangerous tasks. Maybe as an undertaker bee, she's finding corpses inside the hive as the bees die and carrying them outside to reduce disease, to clean up the hive. She might become a guard even later on. So now we're moving from the center of the hive where it's protected out to the entrance of the hive, more exposed. As a guard, you might get picked off by a spider or a yellow jacket, which are constantly hounding the hives. And then the last job that a bee has is a forager. And so that's where we usually see the bees out on the flowers, collecting nectar. And foraging is the most dangerous job, so it's saved for last. And the bee will forage until she dies. That process is very hard on the bee's body. In today's world, she's encountering pesticides. And so that's the final job of the bees, and it takes its toll on them. And over time, it wears the workers down, and that is how they die.